I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Dr. K. Prem Kumar, Associate Professor, Department of Architecture, National Institute of Technology, Tiruchirappalli, India. Dr. K. Prem Kumar has been associated with the Department of Architecture for more than 2 decades. During his stint there, he has introduced the subject architectural psychology in the curriculum, which is now known as environmental and behavior. His studies and publication exclusively explore the relationship between built environment and human behavior in everyday life. Let us now proceed to Dr. K. Prem Kumar's presentation.
I am happy to talk on Icon Best 2021 organized by School of Architecture and Interior Design, SRM Institute of Science and Technology. Today my topic will be built environment and its impact on the human behavior, a psychodynamic perspective. To understand this particular topic, I have segmented into 2 parts. The first segment will give some introduction on the relationship between psychology and space, because in psychology the space is the fundamental building block for human experience. So the first segment will give some introduction and input on how the psychology is related to built environment and what is the significance of these 2 fields. In my opinion, I feel architecture is a multidisciplinary field in general, but in particular, I always have a strong feeling that architecture has close relationship with the field psychology. In general, psychology, but in particular, environmental psychology. So the first segment will be talking on those relationships. Then the second segment will talk on the psychodynamics between this built environment and the human who are exhibiting their behavior, their attitude in a behavior setting. So these are the 2 segments in which I'll be discussing and sharing some of my thoughts out of my experience and from my academic venture during this teaching career. So the first segment, I would like to tell you that architecture is always a field or only field which can affect all our 5 senses. In my understanding, as far as my knowledge goes, there is no other field that has this much potential to affect the human in totality. All our 5 senses, but people believe there are more senses. The senses are close to 10. All these 10 senses are affected, regulated, controlled, and it is shaped through this built environment. So you can just imagine the potential of built environment. It is going to affect your vision. It is going to affect how you are experiencing the environmental noise, experiencing the environmental smell, and overall perception. That is what we call it as environmental perception. To put it simple, this environmental perception is nothing but the sensory inputs that we get from all the senses, and these inputs are translated into an organized whole. We call that as an experience, and this experience only this particular field. And I am proud of this particular field because I am associated with this particular field, architecture or built environment. Only this built environment could give and offer this particular experience. In other words, architecture is a field that is having the prime or chief aim and goal to provoke desirable emotions among human beings. None of the field could do this. Only architecture could shape our attitude, it could shape our behavior, it could elevate even our soul. So architecture has an important aspect in terms of development of human beings. It is an irreducible element in a daily walk of life. See, if you take even the personality of a human being, it has some connection with built environment. But people always think personality is a term which is associated with pure psychology. But what psychologists feel, and they found that with various studies or fundamental study of their own domain, says the term personality be divided into an extrovert and introvert. This classification of extrovert and introvert is basically depends on how an individual is willing to explore the built environment, how much he is ready, how much he is prepared, an individual is prepared to explore the external environment, depending upon the willingness, depending upon the degree of his acceptance to explore the physical world, the external world, he may be classified into an introvert or an extrovert. So that is a key finding or element which one can understand and associate. It has a strong connection, it has a strong root with the main core of psychology. But even those people who are in the mainstream of a psychological field or discipline, they did not understand for several years the potential of the built environment. They always thought in the early 1900s, they always thought psychology is basically an internal process and it depends on a particular individual alone. But as they proceed, as they encountered various issues in understanding the internal individual process of human being, they found there is some external factor, there is some external variable, external element which is constantly affecting the internal process. When I say internal process, it is nothing but the basic needs, the emotions, the motivations and the attitudes of the people. And this is what the internal processes of the human being is nothing but the psychodynamics of the people who are inhabiting a particular setting. That is why in environmental psychological term, we always refer a building's unit or a room as a behavior setting, because whether a person liking it or not, that particular setting, that particular environment is going to affect the individual's behavior or the group of people who are performing the behavior or activity or carrying out some function depending upon the purpose at different times. That is why it is called behavior setting. And this particular term was coined by Roger Barker, who is a psychologist, environmental psychologist. He understood the relationship between the built environment and the people who is occupying that particular. In other words, we call it as occupants of the building. The staff, he called it as staffing. The people who are occupying or performing the activity in a setting, he called them, termed them as staffing. Depending upon the staffing, the built environment will have its own outcome. That is why he always said a particular environment and a behavior, we try to understand the relationship, and he called that as a program. Whenever we enter an environment, whether you like it or not, there will be a standard set of program. That particular program depends on certain norms of that particular activity, and that particular norm could be articulated, that could be changed, that could be altered by the environmental stimuli, which is always there, constantly present. It is like omnipresent. The lighting is there, the ventilation is there, even the non-visual component, we call that as noise, sound, and even the smell. All these environmental stimuli is going to affect the program. So he conducted careful study on these environmental stimulus and stimuli at various occasions and various timings with the staffing, with the people, and he came out with the theory called behavior setting theory, in which he concluded or proposed that every setting has certain standard norms of activity and the outcome. We call that, he termed that as programs, and these programs are function of the staffing. Why I am insisting staffing is, depending upon the number of people, you behave differently. Say for example, you take a classroom where the strength is only 25, or that particular classroom is designed for 25 students. Suddenly imagine 50 number of students entering that particular room. Every individual will feel lot of discomfort. That is called overstaffing. So that is the program. He always specify the program is based on norms. So his norms depends upon certain rules. This is set for this number of people and capacity you should not exceed. So this is called the behavior setting theory, and this you can observe in daily walk of life. On a daily basis, you step out of your home, you step out of your office, you enter a shopping mall, you enter a hospital, you enter any public space, you can observe this. Likewise, the important component of psychodynamics is attitudes of people. When we say attitude, there are ABCs of attitude one should understand. A refers to the affective component, and B refers to the behavior component, and C refers to the cognitive component. This is what we always say, ABCs of the attitude. These components, ABC is directly affected by the built environment. You just pass an environment, whether you are in a market or whether you are in a street, appreciating a temple or appreciating a building, that is called the affective component. You are happy about a particular building, you are happy about a particular setting. You say, I like this particular building. Why? That is the first affectation, which is a key variable that will get into the attitudinal component of the individual or group of people. That is why we always say whether you like attitude of that particular person, because attitude matters. Only this built environment has the power and potential to affect, alter your attitude. That is why whenever we get into an environment which is very pleasing, we always feel like staying there for a longer time, because our human nature is to always search for pleasure, whatever we do. And that is the reason why even our men who are lived in caves, prehistoric men, have cave paintings, because he has got a lot of pleasure in doing that particular activity. In other words, that is a behavior which has given tremendous pleasure. Of course, that is the only aspect that has been left by those people, from which we deciphered a lot of information, starting from cultural information, behavioral information, historical information, and his lifestyle. So every activity, whichever he is trying to perform or trying to engage with, the central essence or the key is whether he can get pleasure out of it. Now, this particular field, architecture, is always aiming to that particular nature and tendency of humankind, and that is why architecture is always appreciated, and it is the paramount of all these fine arts. We call fine arts is a very interesting and essential aspect of life. In this gamut of fine arts, architecture is an important art wherein you can decipher lot of information about human lifestyle, and it has the potential to regulate the lifestyle. So as I said, it is going to affect the emotion of the individual. It is going to affect or promote some of the belief system of the people. Say for example, cosmological belief system. Some of the settings, say traditional setting or vernacular setting or even temple architecture, there is some belief system, there is some principle which we follow for design, construction. That means it is appreciating, it is promoting the belief of group of people or society. We call that as a sastra or the principle, a grammar, whatever the name you call, it is supporting the belief system. And similarly, these two, the emotion and the belief, both put together will form a process or will induce some intention. That is nothing but the overt behavior. Based on these two, the emotion, the feeling and belief, the behavior outcome will be based on these two building blocks. That is the emotion, the feeling and important aspect of belief. These three form together and the behavior manifestation one could experience, and we always aim for that outcome should be desirable, because architecture, again I am repeating, is basically to promote or provoke desirable emotions among people, because with architecture you can create identity. With architecture, you can create territoriality. With architecture, you can personalize your environment. So that is the power of architecture or built environment. In the second segment, the psychodynamics of the people and the built environment. One important component is the territorial behavior. Territorial behavior is nothing but a pattern of attitude and behavior, in the sense he is trying to protect a particular physical space, or it is a perception of taking control of a physical space or object. Not only that, physical space or object, even the idea becomes a territory of a particular individual or group of people. So that is again an important component and behavior which would give better results for people who are having strong territorial sense. For example, when people playing cricket match with the other countries, when the match is happening in our nation, we call that as home ground. That means that particular territory, our players or the players will be having high level of confidence, and they always predict whenever we play at home ground, the chance of victory is 90% or 80%. It is basically because of this territorial behavior and territorial sense. Why? Because that particular individual belonging to that particular territory is familiar about that particular pitch or the ground. Every inch he is familiar. So that gives tremendous confidence. This is not only prevailing with humankind, it is also prevailing in among animals also. So territorial behavior is very strong in propelling the psychodynamics of the human being. Similarly, there is another concept called field theory. This is proposed by the psychologist Kurt Lewin, who is an environmental psychologist. He talks about a field. A field refers to a person and the environment. These two are integrated, or you cannot separate these two, person and the environment. These two put together, he called that as, or he perceived that as a life space. Every individual will have their own life space depending upon the environment and depending upon the personal and quality and personality of that particular individual. These two become a life space, and in this life space there is a chance, there is external force. He terms that as a foreign hull, an external agent that can penetrate this particular life space or a bubble, which will have some impact, which will have some influence onto the behavior of that particular person in the environment. I can give lot of example. One classical example is this pandemic situation, COVID situation. Some 2 years back or 3 years back, we do not know what is corona or COVID. We have not heard this term at all. Similarly, some 10 years back or 15 years back, we do not know what tsunami is all about. So these elements are alien to us. These elements are something new. It is called the foreign hull, and it has the potential to penetrate into this life space where the person and the environment is integrated, and that is going to affect his behavior, the individual's behavior. And sometimes the vice versa can happen. It can be both the direction. The person can affect the foreign hull, or the foreign hull or the element can affect the person's behavior, and these two put together becomes the final behavior intention. This particular field theory you can always observe in our daily walk of life. With this, I would strongly say the system of built environment has strong relationship with respect to the psychodynamics, like it directly affects the physiological system, the feeling, the emotion, thinking, the behavior, and finally the outcome. I think with this understanding, I can strongly vouch that built environment is the only field that can shape, that can articulate, that can provoke, that can promote, that can instigate desirable emotion, and that is what the entire community is looking for. That way, it is a very, very interesting, essential, and noble profession, and I personally feel proud of being associated with this particular field, architecture and built environment. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Prem Kumar, for your eye-opening presentation, sir. Now we shall take a short break for our sponsor video.
Ergonomic articulated keyboard station for long working hours. WorkSmart by EBCO, simplifying lives. Slide in, slide out, rotate or lock, easy access of CPU below the desk. WorkSmart by EBCO, simplifying lives. Third generation concealed drawer slides for your furniture. EBCO, simplifying lives. EBCO sleek telescopic drawer slides for quality furniture, much more than most. EBCO, simplifying lives. EBCO EBCO, new generation concealed hinge for quality furniture. Much more than most. EBCO, simplifying lives. Ergonomic doorknob lock for your bedroom and bathroom doors. EBCO, simplifying lives. Add design aesthetics to your furniture with aluminium profiles and handles. LiveSmart by EBCO, simplifying lives. Space utilization at its best. Wall bed fitting for compact multifunctional rooms. LiveSmart by EBCO, simplifying lives. Now, easy access to your bed storage with ProLift electric bed fitting. LiveSmart by EBCO, simplifying lives. Floor-to-ceiling walk-in wardrobe sliding system. Design it with glass and wooden panels as per your choice. LiveSmart by EBCO, simplifying lives.